Today, we're plunging into something really quite unique.
Mm-hmm.
A collection of sources, basically. Well, they're real life stories about everyday work, routines, community.
Yeah, not the usual big headlines.
Exactly. Think of it like a mosaic, human experience shared directly.
And what's so insightful, I think, is how these seemingly simple narratives, they unlock some pretty profound truths.
Like what?
Well, about how people find meaning, how they navigate challenges, build fulfilling lives through their daily stuff, finding the extraordinary in the ordinary, sort of.
Right. So our mission today for this deep dive is to really unpack those nuggets of knowledge hidden in these tales. We'll explore those rhythms of daily life, the lessons learned from successes and mistakes.
Yeah, mistakes are often key.
And those quiet acts of kindness that, really connect us. So how might understanding all this offer a fresh perspective on your own journey? Let's unpack it.
Sounds good.
Okay, so our sources, they lay out this incredible tapestry. So many different jobs, each with its own cadence, its own rhythm. And it's striking how people structure their days and how that structure often becomes, a source of purpose.
Precisely. And if you look closely, especially at those early morning routines, wow.
Yeah.
It reveals more than just like productivity hacks. It often signals this deliberate choice, doesn't it? To get a head start, maybe claim some quiet time.
Or contribute before the world wakes up.
Exactly. Which raises a question, I think. What does that consistent discipline tell us about inner drive, about well-being?
You see that dedication right from the get-go. Richard, the bus driver, 4:30 a.m. wake up.
4:30.
And his route, it's not just driving, it's connecting with familiar faces,
Right.
Being a steady presence. And Michael, the taxi driver, Paul and James, other bus drivers, all these super early starts, often it seems linked to serving others.
It's less about the clocking in, more about being part of the day's beginning for people.
Yeah, the first thread in the fabric.
And it's not just public-facing roles either. Helen, the stay-at-home mother, 6 a.m. start.
Okay.
Orchestrating the family, managing the house. But then she carves out quiet time. Reading at noon, journaling at night.
So it's managing tasks, but also nurturing herself.
Exactly. It's deliberate. And Brenda, the mail carrier, 7 a.m. start, sorting mail, then out on her road, rain, snow, whatever.
Delivering more than just letters. Consistency, reliability, that presence.
What's fascinating, too, is how these routines, whether they're self-imposed or job-required, they seem to build resilience.
So?
Well, take Thomas, the night security guard, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift.
Opposite schedule.
Right. And he talks about the quiet of the building at night, that solitude lets him focus, and then his days are free to help his parents.
Oh, I see. So finding purpose in the stillness, not just the bustle.
Yeah. And then there are those who pour so much personal care into their work. Laura, the teacher, up at 6:30 a.m., not just prepping lessons, but crafting experiences, greeting every kid by name, using games.
Making it engaging. It shows how that prep translates into real connection, effective teaching.
Yeah, which makes you wonder, doesn't it? How do those individual efforts lift a job into like a real calling?
Good question. Consider Aunt Rachel, the farmer, rises with the sun.
Classic farmer.
And the hard work, it isn't just a job. It's tied to this deep pride, growing her own food, connecting to the earth.
Simple but profound.
And she shares tips with neighbors, building community through that shared knowledge.
That's lovely.
Or Martin at the bookshop starts at 10, finds real joy helping someone find the right book.
Not just any book.
No, like this history book a customer got for his dad. That personal touch, the satisfaction in that, it really comes through.
And that pride, that sense of contribution, it echoes, doesn't it, across different jobs?
Definitely. Steve, the factory worker, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift. He says his work checking boxes is simple but careful.
Careful, that's the key word.
Right. It implies this dedication to quality, making sure things are done right.
And James, the police officer, starting at 5 or 6 a.m.
Another early riser.
Yeah. And he talks about the variety helping lost people, dealing with breakdowns, and the pride he feels just being able to help, being a source of safety.
And Emily, the nurse, long hours, tiring work.
I can only imagine.
But her story focuses less on the exhaustion, more on the satisfaction of helping people feel better. She even mentions a specific patient thanking her.
That must make it worthwhile.
Then Matthew, the construction worker. Up on 30 a.m. start, helmet, boots, the whole gear, working in the sun, the cold.
It's tough conditions.
And he stresses teamwork. Like finishing a wall before the rain comes in shows how interdependent they are.
Right. You can't do that alone. These stories, if you connect them, they really show that fulfilling work isn't always about, grand gestures.
No, it's about consistency.
Consistency, skill, empathy, collaboration. Patricia, the home helper, also a 5:30 a.m. start.
Doing vital work.
Absolutely. Oh, it's more than cooking or cleaning. She emphasizes talking, listening, companionship, like baking cookies with Mrs. Allen.
That's lovely. It's the human connection.
Totally. And Gordon, in the warehouse, lifting heavy boxes from 5:30 a.m., finds meaning not just in the lifting, but in teaching new folks the right way to do it.
Sharing expertise, keeping people safe.
Exactly. And Linda, the tailor, starting at 6 a.m., talks about the focus, the calm hands needed for sewing a wedding dress.
Wow. Pressure.
Right. But also the value she finds in that quiet, meticulous work, creating something so personal.
So beyond the work rhythms, the sources also shed light on, other parts of life, hobbies, challenges, connections.
Right. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think, because these moments often lead to surprising discoveries, personal growth.
Yeah, the unexpected stuff.
What's fascinating here is that consistent thread you see. Mm-hmm. Resilience, learning from mistakes, and just the profound power of human connection. It really weaves through these stories, and it makes you ask, how do these everyday experiences fundamentally shape who we are, our view of the world?
We definitely see that plans going sideways can lead to unexpected good things.
David getting log hiking.
Oh, yeah. What happened? Stumbled upon a small waterfall he never would have seen otherwise. A reminder, that sometimes the best discoveries are off the planned path.
Because things went wrong, ironically.
Historically, and Mark's baking. Forgetting sugar in a cake.
Oh, no.
Everyone laughed, apparently, but it taught him to be careful, and then his bread dough didn't rise.
Baking can be humbling.
Totally. Taught him patience. They're not just mistakes, they're like catalysts for understanding.
Right, and it's not just learning from mistakes in a generic sense. It's the mindset behind it. Persistence.
Like Elisa learning the computer.
Exactly. She felt totally frustrated, but kept at it and found it rewarding in the end.
It's about that tenacity. Knowing mastery takes effort, sometimes frustrating effort.
It's not always easy.
And the power of hobbies comes through so strongly. Mark's gardening again.
He's busy.
Seems so. But it relaxes him, teaches patience, care, plus delicious tomatoes.
Can't argue with that.
And cooking someone making a traditional Italian dish. It took ages, but it connected people, sparked stories, created memories.
Food does that, doesn't it?
It really does, even travel. Emma in Japan, the tea ceremony, appreciating simple moments. James in Canada, trying poutine by Niagara Falls.
Experiencing new things.
Yeah, and finding people friendly. Or just an adventure in a small village, seeing a different way of life, fostering understanding.
It shows hobbies aren't just like distractions. They're paths to self-discovery, cultural immersion.
Or just seeing things differently, like reading, taking you places without leaving your chair.
Like that novel about a teacher mentioned. And sports, too. Mark's basketball for health and teamwork. John's cycling for freedom and well-being.
Getting outside, good for body and mind. Laura even took a cooking class specifically for healthy meals, made her life more interesting.
Taking action to enrich your own life.
Then there's how people handle problems. That composure. Daniel, computer issue at work.
Stressful.
Could be. But he stayed calm, called IT, had notes ready, problem fixed quickly.
Kept his head.
Or Tom, car wouldn't start. Worried, sure, but called a mechanic, got a taxi, made it on time.
Practical. Calm.
And Peter, the delivery manager package went to the wrong house. He fixed it fast. Customer was grateful.
That quick resolution makes a huge difference.
It really does. And that resourcefulness under pressure, it's remarkable. Grace, the school cook, her oven broke.
Ooh, wow. Midday?
Seems like it. But she stayed calm, found another way to cook. Kids ate on time.
Incredible. Thinking on her feet.
Benjamin, the transit officer at a small accident called the ambulance, cleared the road efficiently. Stephen, the parking lot worker woman, dropped keys down a drain.
Oh, no. Nightmare.
He used a stick, fished him out.
Clever. These aren't just problem-solving moments. They show real care, minimizing disruption for others.
Proactive service, yeah. And finally, that thread you mentioned earlier, connection and kindness. It's huge. Friendships, like the weekly calls Rachel and I have, or meeting Anna for coffee, that support network.
Essential.
But it's also those spontaneous acts of helping. Small things, but they shine.
Right. And it raises that question again. How do these seemingly minor gestures create such big ripples, build a better community?
Think of Susan helping that hurt bird, Emily the nurse, making patients feel better, not just treating them.
That extra step.
Anna the cashier, helping the elderly man with his bags. Michael the taxi driver, calming the nervous woman going to the hospital.
For being human.
Catherine the dentist, giving a scared boy a toy. James the police officer, staying with the family whose car broke down. Jennifer the cashier, patient with the woman who lost her money.
Patience is key there.
Patricia, the home helper, providing that crucial company, baking cookies. Brian, the train station cleaner, stopping a train to get a lost toy off the track.
Wow, that's dedication.
Philip, the delivery man, helping an old woman open her medicine bottle. Nancy, the teacher, comforting a crying child. These acts, they humanize work, make people feel seen, safe.
They really do. They are powerful affirmations of care.
And it extends to strangers, too. Paul, the teacher, met an older man in the park, shared stories, made the man's day.
It's a simple conversation.
Dennis, the postman, delivered a letter to an old man who hadn't gotten one in months. Pure happiness.
Oh, that's lovely. These quiet moments, they show such depth.
Exactly. Such warmth in everyday life.
So if we really connect all this, pull back to the bigger picture, what emerges so powerfully from these stories is it's a testament, isn't it, to the dignity and the impact found in just everyday actions.
Yeah, it's not about grand gestures.
No, it's the consistent commitment to work, the patience you learn, the simple act of being present, observant, kind.
Exactly. We've journeyed through lives of bus drivers, bakers, farmers, firefighters, all navigating the days with, well, real intention, real impact. And they remind us that being well-informed isn't just about the big headlines. It's about understanding the intricate, often quiet ways people contribute, adapt,
Connect.
deeply connect. So as you reflect on these stories, these narratives, what resonates most deeply with you? Is it maybe the quiet dedication of the early risers?
Or the resilience after a mistake.
Or that profound satisfaction found just in helping someone else out?
Which leads to a final question maybe for you to consider. How might pausing, looking more closely at the seemingly ordinary moments in your own, deep dive of a day.
Routine.
Yeah. How might that reveal surprising insights, maybe unexpected strengths, or even just a deeper sense of purpose?